India, a country of 1.4 billion people, has a lot to play for. Cricket is prominent among them. But this India is still struggling with a sport which is football. Although India has improved a bit in football over the past few years, India has yet to become a footballing country. But the past of Indian football was not like that. India was once one of the top footballing countries in Asia. Today, we will know that history. A sport that has yet to catch up with the nation's cricket frenzy. Well, our journey begins in the late 19th century, amidst the bustling streets of colonial India, where the seeds of this beautiful game were sown. The year was 1872 when the British established the first football club in India, the Calcutta Football Club. This sparked the beginning of a new era. Soon after, the Sarada Club and the Dalhousie Club followed suit, marking the early beginnings of organized football in the country. However, these were all run by the British Raj, and the Indian involvement was still minimal. Then came along a figure who would forever be etched in the annals of Indian football history. Nagendra Prasad Sarbadikari, a name that resonates with reverence among football enthusiasts, is fondly remembered as the father of Indian football. Sarbadikari took the first steps towards Indianizing football by forming a team with his friends and establishing the Soba Bazaar Club in 1887. This was the first football club created by Indians for Indians. With the inception of the Soba Bazaar Club, the interest of Indians in football started to crescendo. The following year, in 1888, the Durand Cup was introduced, marking the commencement of the first football tournament in India and the oldest in Asia. Soon after, in 1889, the Mohun Bagan Club was founded in Kolkata. This club holds a special place in the heart of Indian football fans for its historic and traditional significance. It was the first major football club to be established and has since become a symbol of pride and passion for the sport. As the 19th century drew to a close, the groundwork for Indian football had been laid. It was a game no longer confined to the British elite, but a sport that had started to resonate with the Indian masses. The stage was set, the players were ready, and the nation was poised for a football revolution. The foundation for Indian football had been laid. It was now time for the sport to grow. As the 20th century dawned, Indian football began to take shape. The formation of the Indian Football Association, or IFA, in 1893 was a significant milestone. This federation was the driving force behind the establishment of various football clubs across the vast Indian subcontinent. Clubs like Ob Ferguson and Boys Social Club were born, each contributing to the growing popularity and development of the sport. One of the most remarkable moments in Indian football history came in 1911. The Mohun Bagan Club, founded just a couple of decades earlier in Kolkata, achieved a feat that would echo through the annals of Indian football. They vanquished the East Yorkshire Regiment by 2-1 goals to become the first Indian club to win the League Shield. They played without boot. This triumph was more than just a victory on the football field. It was a symbol of national pride, a testament to the resilience of the Indian spirit, and many believe it fueled the burgeoning flames of India's independence movement. As the years rolled on, the Indian national team started to make its presence felt on the international stage. In 1924, the team embarked on their first away match, a friendly game against Sri Lanka. This was an important stepping stone, laying the groundwork for future international fixtures and competitions. R. Lumsden became India's first hat-trick player in 1938 against Australia. Fast forward to 1937, and another significant event unfolded in the realm of Indian football. The All India Football Federation, or AIF, was established. This was a pivotal moment, marking a shift from the colonial era to a period of self-governance in Indian football. The AIF was instrumental in promoting the sport, organizing tournaments, and nurturing talent across the nation. In 1940, Mohammedan Sporting became the first Indian club to win the Durand Cup. With the establishment of the AIFF, Indian football was set for a new era. The stage was set for a golden age of football in India, a time when the country would make waves on the global football scene and etch its name in the annals of the sport's history. Post-independence, Indian football entered its golden era. It was a time of glory and triumph that saw our nation's footballing prowess on full display. The Santosh Trophy, India's first league, was launched in 1941. marking a significant milestone in the history of Indian football. The year 1948 was particularly eventful. The Indian football team made its debut at the Olympics, delivering a commendable performance. This time, the Indian players played without boots. Later that same year, India obtained affiliation with FIFA, the international governing body for football. However, this year also witnessed a controversial decision that would go down in history. Despite receiving an invitation to participate in the 1950 World Cup, India decided to prioritize the 1952 Olympics. This is perhaps the worst decision taken by Indian Football Federation, a choice that still sparks debate among football enthusiasts. Yet, this era was not without its victories. The Indian football team clinched gold medals at the Asian Games in 1950 and 1961, a testament to their skill and tenacity on the field. They also finished in fourth place at the 1956 Olympics, a commendable feat that further solidified India's standing in international football. In 1964, India became the runner-up of the Asian Cup, and in 1970, the Indian team again won the bronze medal in the Asian Games. This golden era produced some of the finest footballers India has ever seen. Players like Chuni Goswami, Pitangraj, Tulsidas Balram, P.K. Banerjee, Sailan Manna became household names, their performances captivating audiences and inspiring future generations. In addition to these male footballers, this era also saw the rise of Shanti Malik, India's first female footballer. Her story serves as a reminder of the progress we've made and the long road that still lies ahead in achieving gender equality in sports. Syed Abdul Rahim, the manager of that time, played the most important role in the development of Indian football at that time. This era saw Indian football at its best, but the sport was about to face a decline. The coming years would bring challenges and trials, but the spirit of Indian football would remain undeterred, forever striving to reclaim its golden past. The glory days of Indian football came to a halt as the nation's focus shifted. The year was 1983, a year that would forever change the sporting landscape of India. The Indian cricket team, against all odds, lifted the Cricket World Cup. The jubilation was palpable, the celebrations endless. But as the country basked in the glory of this cricketing triumph, football was relegated to the backseat. The death of Syed Abdul Rahim and the retirement of legendary players further weakened Indian football. Also in 1954, FIFA banned India for refusing the invitation to the World Cup in 1950. Football's marginalization was further compounded by a lack of adequate infrastructure, mismanagement, and corruption within the governing bodies. The sport that once had the nation's heart was now struggling to survive. Yet all was not lost. Recognizing the need for a structured football league, the National Football League was launched in 1996. Later, it converted into I-League. It marked the beginning of a new era, a revival of sorts for Indian football. The I-League brought with it a sense of professionalism and organization that was sorely lacking in the Indian football scene. Fast forward to 2014, the Indian Super League, or the ISL, was launched. The ISL brought with it an influx of foreign talent, better quality of football, and most importantly, the return of the fans to the stadiums. Football was once again becoming a part of the Indian sports conversation. It's not that no good footballers were found in India after the golden era ended. Prasun Banerjee, I.M. Vijayan, Bahaichung Bhutia, Swavir Ali, Subrata Paul, Mehtab Hussain, Sunil Chetri, legends like these have played in India. Today, the popularity of football in India is slowly but surely on the rise. More and more youngsters are taking up the sport, inspired by the glamorous world of European football and the grit of the local leagues. But the path to becoming a footballing nation is fraught with challenges. Corruption, lack of infrastructure, and a lack of a robust grassroots program are some of the hurdles that need to be overcome. Despite the ups and downs, the dream for Indian football to make its mark on the world stage remains alive. The journey may be long and the path may be treacherous, but the love for the beautiful game is deeply ingrained in the hearts of millions of Indians. And as long as that love persists, the dream of seeing the Indian football team at the World Cup endures.